action letterboxing again, or as I'm starting to call it, annoying all the dogs in the neighbourhood. Oh, I've got something that's going to rattle in my bag. Doesn't that annoy you? How's everyone doing, groovers? So yes, I'm doing another bit of letterboxing today if anyone wants to come for a walk, chat about when YouTube enters your life. Boy oh boy, does it enter your life. This rattling's going to annoy me, so I'm just going to put the... Hey Morgan, how you doing? The rattling item on my dashboard of my car. Bonnet. How you doing, gorgeous? Hey Kangaroo. Another gorgeous day here. It's currently 11 degrees Celsius. That's about just over 50 degrees in the States, I think. And we're letterboxing in an area that's sort of up on the hill that I live halfway up. So this area is up behind where my house is. And one of the cool things about this walk is there's a couple of houses down here that were built by the guy who built my house. So you'll get to see some other houses that are a bit like mine. That's pretty cool. But I've got the last of the area I live in to do, well, until I run out of brochures. Hey Mary, I'm glad you love it. I like taking you guys on walks. Might as well keep me company, hey? What's the other option? Listen to, I do listen to music on my beach walks in the morning a lot. And I used to listen to YouTube on walks, but... Hey Stacey, how you doing? Stacey Marie, good to see you. Oh my god, I can't believe the other day in Laura's, I'm not sure if you were there or not, but she didn't recognise me with my new channel name with Yum Tours. Hey Save Robbie, how you doing, gorgeous? Yeah, she didn't recognise me, so I sort of said, oh, it's me, Tori, aka Sweet Baby Angle, and she was like, oh, I thought Sweet Baby Angle was Ash274. Which surprised me. I've never been compared to, I mean, they were obviously trying to work out who I was. They mustn't have seen where you said, hey Tori, in chat, maybe, I don't know. Well, I love doing it for you, Mary, and it's still the voluntary assisted dying bill flies that I'm letterboxing today. And I apologise for the wobbly camera, but I'm holding my tripod in the same hand that I've got the brochures in. So I've got a hand free to actually letterbox. Quite a few letterboxes in this area. I can't wait to show you the other houses that my builder built. Give you an idea of what my place is like. Every house in this drive has a, I just letterboxed a vacant block. It's a vacant block, but it's got a letterbox. Go figure. Hey baby. Yeah, it was funny, but I wouldn't peg her as a music quiz kind of person, but maybe she is, I don't know. So what do you think, Mary? What do you think? So I put, I've wanted to do this for ages, a series called When YouTube Enters Your Life. I am sort of, I might have to message Makeup Mobster and say, I'm sorry that I'm lifting part of your series about grief, but I think a lot of creators talk about what happens when you sort of discover the YouTube world, but to actually have a platform where we can just, it doesn't have to be a bitch or anything, just to chat about how, you know, how it changes your life for good and bad. Mary, someone's going to video. Oh, really? That'd be great. That'd be great. I'm glad that you're getting someone to do that, because I think I was saying to someone the other day, Mary, that in fact I was even saying it on my live the other day, that unless people have got first-hand experience of watching a loved one dying in pain, sorry, now I've completely forgotten what I said because I had a thing pop up on my phone. But my point was, the only people in Tasmania that seem to oppose this bill are people that are friend, whatever it might be, suffering, is in full support of it. And I think it's so important that people are vocal and do educate the public about it, because once you've been in that position, you just wouldn't oppose it. Perfect timing, Lady Peg says, hey Mercedes girl, how you doing? So I think that's really brave of you, Mary, and it's really important for education. So this little place up here, they might be home, so I'm just going to be quick. But this was built by my builder. This is actually a cube design, whereas mine's longer. But it's basically the same layout. It's just that it's in a square shape, not a long, narrow shape. Cute, huh? A lot of people are working from home still, so I've encountered all kinds of people on my letterboxing. No, they don't know there's a lot of thought to it, and the people that oppose it, and look, I'm always interested in both sides of any story, not just because I'm trained to find both sides as a lawyer, but also just generally. It's very similar to an experience that a friend of mine went through with her transgender daughter, and people were very anti it and very vocal about it. But the amount of counselling and psych appointments and medical appointments, you know, it's not like a little kid can go, oh, I want to be a girl now, and then it gets switched over. And it's very similar. Sashu, how you doing, Groover? Gosh, you were fun last night. Thank you so much again for that. Hey, Michelle. Oh, we've got quite a crowd here. I normally only have half a dozen on my walks. I feel a bit special today. But yeah, it's almost a parallel, I feel, with what Georgie went through, because a lot of people who are incredibly vocal about it, you know, they thought that it was just a kid waking up going, I want to be a girl now, and having incredibly invasive surgery on a whim. They don't realise the extent of all of the counselling, the psychological aspects of it, making sure people are of sound mind, you know, the family being consulted and everyone talking about it. Like, there's so much that goes on to make it even happen, whether it's voluntary assisted dying or like surgery for a transgender child. And they're coming from a place of ignorance, and they don't have that personal experience. So you getting somebody to film it all is brilliant, Mary, because people need to be educated. And at the end of the day, both with voluntary assisted dying and also transgender realignment surgery, it's your body. It's your body. You get to make the decision, nobody else. It's your body. People need to calm the fuck down. It was the same with the marriage equality debate in Australia. The people that opposed it, how does it impact on them personally? How does it affect their lives at all? Hey, the real Chrissy's Corner, g'day. Hey, Shanna. Good to see you too. You came with Claire and Sashu. Awesome. Well, welcome. Welcome. It is a beautiful day, Shanna. It's 11 degrees Celsius, which what was it the other day I worked out when it was 9 degrees here, it was sort of 48 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Does that sound about right? So it's, you know, it's a winter's day, but the sun's out. And the sun here is majestic. Nice to have you here. Hey, Kelsey. We are walking. You can't drag your family down for 57. You're too young, Mary. It's too young. It's not fair. But I also love that you're, you know, you're able to make choices, and I hope one day that Tasmanians are too. We have to go to Melbourne in Australia if we want to go through with voluntary assisted dying, and I mean the criteria to even qualify are really strict, but a huge part of voluntary assisted dying is also giving people the right to die at home. You know, I don't know if if I had no choice, I'd go to Melbourne, but obviously it'd be much nicer to be at home, or, you know, at least in the state where I live. Been 5 years. Well, Mary, we love you so much. I love your positive outlook. I love that you always cheer me up every time I see you. Hang on a sec. Yeah, you're a ray of sunshine and an inspiration, because you're living with a reality. And that's why all these people that have got really firm opinions on stuff that don't have any direct experience, and also it doesn't impact on their lives, you know, what's their problem? God forbid they end up in the same position one day. Hey, puppy. So many people down here have got dogs. Everyone is polite in here, Shanna. We do get a bit of mischief at times, but nothing too full on. I mean, I'm sure if we talk about when YouTube enters your life, it could get a bit gritty, although I don't want it to be a slag fest about other creators, but I would like it to be a place where we can acknowledge positive things that creators are doing, which is one of the reasons why I thought we could chat today, because I'd like to give a shout out to John Crimes. Now, the other house that my builder built is down there, and you're not going to be able to see it, but it's a mirror image of my place down the back of that block. Although they've got a fire pot, I mean a wood heater, they've got a flue. Hi, girly gamer. Oh, Mary, God, your family's had a terrible time of things. Far out. Sorry to hear that. That's terribly sad. I lost a really gorgeous friend to ovarian cancer last year. It was very quick. Her decline was very rapid. Well, I'm sure your brother and sister are really proud of you. John's a great video maker. He is. Well, the reason I want to give him a shout out is I'm not a huge fan in terms of I don't watch him a lot, but I did see on my YouTube page this morning that he'd written a community post where he was saying that his John Hinged video channel, which is sort of where he's been very vocal about a lot of stuff, he's just going to make it about his videos from now on and not weigh in on the drama because of how it had affected him. And I mean, I think what he wrote, pretty much everyone who met in the same community would be feeling the same. But what I really loved about it was right at the very end, he said, anyone who isn't trying to hurt or upset another person, I love you. And I just thought it was really lovely and touching. And hey, there's a laneway down here. It's not part of my letterboxing, but should we check it out? See, and that's why I love you, Mary Winston. You're not a victim. And yeah, everyone's got a story, haven't they? Everyone's got a sad story. That's part of living. No one can go through life without experiencing sadness and sorrow. It's part of the human experience. But yeah, so with John's comment, I just thought, yeah, you know, that's sort of how I've watched on in horror a lot of the time with YouTube, and wondered when creators were going to wake up and just stop doing it, you know. And he basically said in it that it affected him, and so that's why he's moving on. And I understand. I'll never ever ever have an issue with any YouTube creator or sub defending themselves. I'm even happy to provide my channel as a platform for people if they need to defend themselves. But it's one thing to defend yourself and then move on. It's another to keep going. See if you find Daddy-O. Girly Gamer, I'm walking, it's an area, like, I live halfway up a hill, and this is sort of the top of the hill. So it's over the back. I don't know if I have to letterbox this street though. I was just curious to see where this little track went. Oh, that's pretty cool. So that goes down to, oh, I've already letterboxed this street. So this little track, it means all the people on the hill can walk this way down to the local shops, because the local shops are just down the bottom where that road is. And look at that beautiful view with the beach in the background. I hope you're getting a bit of the beach. Shannon, you did delete YouTube for a long time. You're still a mod in my mod list, but it might be a different profile. It's good to have you on the walk, Shanna. So yeah, that's where we are, Girly Gamer. We're kind of up on the hill behind my house. It's obviously in Tassie, down where I live. But I love this area because this is all, you know, bush and little hobby farms and, yeah, very sort of country. And then when you look that way, you've got through there is the beach. So it's a sort of country coastal outlook. People don't know what the hell I'm doing walking along talking to myself, and I'm not really quiet. Where is that loud woman with a bloody camera on a tripod? Yeah, that'd be me. So there you go, I've just discovered another part of my area I didn't know, this little track. So I could really walk up the hill, and because this area is sort of behind where I am, I could come down this way to go down to the shops. I walk to the shops a lot, but it'd be nice to go a different way. Lady Pegasus had a 4-month break. Yeah, it was time to get rid of old Ma Phrase for sure. Do you get much wildlife in your yard? Yeah, Michelle, I get heaps of birds. So I get kookaburras, rosellas, cockatoos. I had 2 sulphur-crested cockatoos on my railing this morning. I get wallabies, which are baby kangaroos. I've got a resident echidna and lots of possums, all brush tail, no ringtail. Oh, thank you.
I gave you a scare?
No, not at all. Safety first.
Is that where you're going to live?
Pardon?
Is that where you're going to live?
No, I live over the hill. Oh, right. I'm just on the other side. Just doing some letterboxing. Sorry if that bike... I know there's a big barky dog from this house, but hopefully it won't come running up to the gate again. Oh, it's running. Spoke too soon. Yeah, so I do get a fair bit of wildlife, Michelle. Yes, I do. And of course there's Biscuit, the wildebeest, holding fort. Yeah, great Mercedes girl. Yeah, well, it just resonated because I've questioned why they're all just going on and on and on, and it's like, why aren't any of them running out of steam and just going, this is pointless, or this is actually starting to affect me emotionally and physically, I'm going to stop. So good on him for doing that. I'll wrench you again when I can, Shanna. I can go back through this chat and bestow you with a shiny wrench. Looks like Romana, California. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was funny back in the old Ma Phrase days. That's when we all kind of met and it was fun and addictive and we all formed friendships, and yeah, the good old days. My, how things have changed, right? YouTube doesn't resemble those days anymore. But well, you know, some of us can make it resemble those days. I like to think my channel is a bit of fun. They don't want peace, Mary, because it brings them views. I mean, if I put a creator's name in my subject header, I would get 3,000 views, because if you look through all of my videos, the video that has the most views, Molly Golightly's name is in it. I didn't do that as an experiment. I genuinely was wondering what the hell was going on with her. But this is like, God, over a year ago. But yeah, and people still watch it and still comment under it months and months and months later. Thanks, Mary, for explaining what letterboxing is. So yeah, why would they stop doing it when it makes them money, builds their channels? Just check and see if this court is... Uh-oh, what does oh God mean? What's happened, Mary? Yes, this is one of mine up here. I don't know why you just said oh God. I hope you're right. But you know, the thing is, someone like John, he's a dude, so I can't speak on behalf of all dudes. Save Robbie may not be around anymore, but just from my relationships, former partners, my brother, male friends that I've got, none of them would be interested in you know, fighting endlessly for hours and hours on end on YouTube. Oh, Molly. Sure did, Lady Pegasus. Doxing, receipts. Mandy Bell was where I learnt the word receipts. I was in a mod group with her and she used receipts. She taught me another word too, which might be, I don't know if it's US generally or if it's just Texas, but she used to say, I'm fixing, how did she say it? I'm fixing to get dinner ready Like she sort of, it was used in, like we'd say, I'm just going to get ready for dinner. I'm getting ready to make dinner. But she was fixing. There you go, the real Chrissy's Corner. Yeah, I knew about doxing actually before YouTube, because I've had a Facebook community for over a decade, and we've had a few members that have had falling outs, and then, you know, they've doxed each other. So we've had a no doxing rule. Hey Claire Bear. Mary, you just make dinner. Yeah, I'm fixing to cook for y'all. That was another thing I learnt. But doxing wasn't a new word for me. I had actually, I had to put a no doxing rule in my group quite a long time ago. I think we had 1 or 2 members that were sacked because they were doxed. Which doesn't say much for their employers. I'd like to think my employer would be on my side, not on the doxer's side. I've got too many layers on. I'm getting hot. Yeah, exactly. I'm fixing to, I'm about to, I'm going to. And I actually use it now. I actually say it to people. Mary, I love creators who bring joy. Me too. And you know what? I worked out a long time ago. If you're a creator that just wants to keep people company and hang out and have some fun, do things like the soft sticks, unboxings, whatever. I know that I'll never be a massive channel, but I don't want to be either. I don't want to make money off YouTube. That's not my goal. I just like the creative outlet, and I love the connections that we all make and the random people that you meet and that side of it. But the other thing is, they can't even acknowledge their subs at all. But I think even having more than 40 people in chat would be really hard. Oh, thanks, Shanna. When's my next beach walk? When I finish letterboxing. When I finish letterboxing. I do a beach walk every morning, but I am actually doing it for exercise purposes, and a certain person in my chat right now always gives me shit about sounding breathless. So the last thing I want to do is take you guys with me on a walk/jog. So yeah, I'll do another beach one soon. I just really want to get these flyers out because the bill is being tabled in Parliament in September. Hey, this gets coolest letterbox ever. Cute, huh? They've turned their old surfboard into a letterbox. It's pretty cool. I hope this dog is friendly. Hey, puppy. Hello, you dear old thing. Pretty old dog. Someone has a new fence back there, yeah. So yeah, that's the little house that was built by my builder. Shit, I just noticed there's a girl sitting in there looking back out at me. Oops. It is a very nice surfboard mailbox. You have talent. Oh, thank you, Mary. Small channels are so much more fun. All the subs get the chance to chat. Exactly, I agree, Lady Pegasus. I agree. And yeah, I think even having, 40 people in chat would be the maximum. It blows my mind how some of the creators really do go out of their way to acknowledge as many subs as they can. And, I gravitated towards creators when I first started mucking around on YouTube who were really good at acknowledging their subs. It wasn't necessarily that their content was better than anyone else's. I just like the engagement. So, yeah, I learned a lot from Laura, funny enough, was one that nailed acknowledging her subs way more than most creators. And I was like, well, I kind of want a channel like that where we can all chat. And whether people like her or not, even some of her, and I don't like using this word, but her haters acknowledge that the people in her chat are lovely and they do have that friendship thing happening. And I agree. I don't find her chat hostile like some other chats. Oh shit, I wonder if you guys have dropped out. Yeah, she does engage well, and we know whether people like her or not is kind of irrelevant in terms of talking about her ability to engage her audience. It's a very separate aspect to shock there, Bear. I actually want some water. I've got way too many layers on. I've got like a merino skivvy. Well, it's not a skivvy, but a turtleneck. And then I've got a merino jumper. And I've got merino socks. Luckily I didn't put the friggin' beanie on. Dropping weight, I wish. Alright, I'll show you the flyers. Sorry, I just had to have a drink. I'm almost tempted to take my jumper off, but what you guys in the States would call a sweater. Oh, sorry, hang on. So yeah, this is what I'm putting in people's letterboxes. We've got the voluntary assisted dying bill being tabled in our Parliament, State Parliament at the end of September. And this is an organisation, is that going to focus? Your Choice Tas. So they give you a bit of information about the bill and also some things you can do, like, that looks like it's focused. So there's things you can do like signing a petition online, contacting your local member of parliament to tell your story or loved one's story or express your opinion. There's a petition that you can print off and get friends and family to sign it. They're also doing information forums once the COVID-19 restrictions are eased. And then the two girls here, they're Nat and Jack, and they're with their mum Diane, who died 11 months after her diagnosis with pancreatic cancer. She died last year. She was 57. And they're behind Your Choice Tas. And so, yeah, a lot of people are sharing their stories in the local media and just building up awareness. So that's what we're up to. And it's something I feel really strongly about, having watched my mother suffer. And she had just turned 60 when she died. It was 20 years ago. My dad suffered a bit too, but not in the same way. And a heart attack ended his life, but he was terminally ill when he died. But he didn't get to the point that my mum, mum was diagnosed at 50. She had a decade of pain, basically. So, yeah, I feel very strongly about it, and it's the least I can do. And I'll share my story and all of the rest of that as well. Let me see. Cootamundra Court. Yep. It's on the list. Oh, there's a very impressive letterbox up here. If anyone needs a bobcat, these guys have bobcats. Oh, 44, Mary, that's so sad. My beautiful friend Bib, who died last year, she was 49 of ovarian cancer. It's just wrong. Such an aggressive one. I mean, Bib, from diagnosis to death, it was 3 months. It's pretty horrible. There's another big dog. They're beautiful. I love Alsatians, but I'm not going near the letterbox. It's too close to the gate. Oh. Like, yeah. Early gamer, I worked in home hospice when the patients would get worse. Yeah, they already do that in Australia. They did it with my mum. They increased her morphine, but she was dying. Like, she was actually checking out. You know, death was imminent. It just sped it up a tiny bit right at the end. But this is more, you know, people being able to choose when they're still coherent and may not even be, you know, showing lots of symptoms or in a lot of pain, and opting to go then. See you, Sashu. Yeah, you would have, Mary. It's horrible. I mean, the only saving grace I think with my mum was they did ramp up her meds, but she also slipped into a little coma naturally. So really, at the end, it was just a matter of time, really. But you do feel helpless. And, you know, another good thing about bills like this is it acknowledges it's an experience for everyone in the family. When my mum was sick and I stopped working full time and so did my sister to help care for her, there wasn't really there was no carers allowance for starters, but there weren't really any support networks for family members. It was very much, you know, the person that was sick, the focus was entirely on them, and there's nothing wrong with that. The main focus should be on them, but the fact that there wasn't really any sort of support, relief, even counselling for us. And hey, being there, you ramped them up too. You felt like you killed her. No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. Yeah, so the beauty with this bill is that it acknowledges everyone in the family. You know, it's very much focused on the entire experience, and still the patient is still the primary concern. But I think it's such an advancement from 20 years ago when my mum died, where you know, my mum, we couldn't talk to mum about what we were going through, and we didn't have anyone else to except each other. And don't get me wrong, I mean, my brother and sister and I are super close, and even closer because of these experiences. But it would have been good to have had someone just saying what you're feeling is okay. Wow, Lady Pegasus. What, I'm trying to see where that came from. Or is that just you're just sharing some info? Oh, sounds horrible. Hey, being there. Yep. And I love how frank you're being there too. I mean, it's obviously very topical because of what I'm currently letterboxing. But you know what? I think, like, I love that you've worked out what you're doing. But I think if this bill goes through, it's going to put patients in complete control of what they do with their bodies. And it's going to make it a lot harder for people in the family to object or criticise. I hate to say it, but I think sometimes something being legalised stops a lot of the noise from people who aren't actually living that experience. So I think that's another reason the bill going through would be great. Just for putting an end to those horrible family arguments about what ultimately is your choice. And I'm speaking generally right now. I mean, you know, like, I think people have less opportunity to be vocal if you can say to them, hey, it's law, it's my choice. Shut up. Maybe I'm too idealistic, but I do think it makes a bit of a difference. I certainly think marriage equality going through finally shut a lot of people up. Not everyone. There's always going to be grumpy people, right? It's a rather ornate letterbox we have here. Look at it. It's very impressive. That's very sad, Lady Pegasus. Yeah, you do have to apply when you're competent, and that's the thing. That's why the bill going through would be fantastic too, because at the moment a lot of people are being kept alive because they're beyond the point of making that decision for themselves. And I think a lot of families would love to be able to let their family members go than just watching them suffer for days, months on end. I mean, it's the worst thing to go through. Well, it's the worst thing I've been through. I'm sure there's other things that are bad to go through too, but in my lifetime, watching my mum suffering, and over a decade as well, was horrible. And watching her putting on a happy face, even though every aspect of her life, everything she loved about being alive, had gone. She was outdoorsy, she walked the dogs every day, she was an A-grade golfer, she was a hardcore socialite. She loved having dinner parties, lunches, huge group of girlfriends. We had a beautiful spot right near the beach growing up, and she loved the garden. She couldn't stand the smell of anything cooking, so she couldn't do her lunches anymore. So yeah, the meds might have prolonged her life, but they prolonged a life that wasn't hers before she got sick. Yeah, and that's beautiful that you've done that too, Mary. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Shh, puppy. It's compulsory to like the beach and own a dog grove. Yeah, we do have do not resuscitate laws. But that's a different thing again. The do not resuscitate stuff applies in very limited circumstances. It's interesting because it is law and it's very compassionate for people that are suddenly rendered a vegetable, for example, after a horrific accident or illness. And, you know, they don't basically want to be put on life support. So it's interesting that already exists. But giving people who've got a terminal illness and who are living in a lot of pain, at the moment, you've got to go to mainland Australia. And the criteria to be accepted is ridiculous. So, now have a look out there, guys. Can you see the water? See if I can zoom in a bit. Oops, nearly dropped all the flyers. Can you see the water, guys? You will see it a bit more in a minute. But the reason I'm showing it to you is that's my beach down there. If it gives you a bit of perspective. Oh, the health directive stuff's horrible being there. We did it with Dad. It wasn't a nice day. But it's a really important thing to do. It's really important because it's things like, weirdly, Dad did the health directive, but it didn't have anywhere on there about what he wanted in terms of burial or cremation. Hey guys, you know how we had the surfboard letterbox before? Check out this one. It's an outdoor motor. It's an outboard motor. They've turned an outboard motor into a letterbox. Oh my god. Creative letterboxes. We'll keep going a little bit longer and then I'm going to head back. I'm getting hot and bothered. It's a cool house up here. There's a lot of beautiful houses around here. I thought Tiger Head Road, where we were the other day, was the posh part of my suburb, but I'm thinking this part's pretty posh too. Considering it's primarily a little beach shack kind of town. See, that's a big place. But yeah, I like this house over here. Is that the dog that came and met me before? I reckon it is. Look how cool that house is. It's a groovy design. I love it. So this is pretty similar to my place. It's not. It's not a neat house. But it's a similar sort of concept. There's music playing and I get paranoid, but look at the little walkway over to their gate. Can you guys see that? It's probably in zoom still, hang on. Now I've got to get rid of my keyboard. Yeah, look, being there, it's shit because it's sort of like makes things feel even realer. But we didn't know what Dad wanted. And so we had him cremated. And fortunately, when we got his will, he wanted to be cremated. But, you know, if he'd wanted to be buried, that would have been a bit of a boo-boo. The other thing, though, was Dad qualified for a state funeral, so he obviously went for it because he was that kind of a man. So he had 2 funerals. But his will also had what he wanted at his state funeral. And one thing was that he wanted his coffin on the stage with the the military, the naval white ensign draped over his coffin. Oops. We'd already had him cremated. I mean, to be honest, Dad would have liked to have been dragged. You see, there's the beach down there, through there. That's the beach where I live, down there. Yeah, if he'd had his way, he would have been carried on the back of a horse and cart down the main street of Hobart. But yeah, so that was a minor boo-boo. But we'd already had one funeral for Dad, so for all of us, having the private family funeral and then having the state funeral, I think it would have been a bit much for us to have had the coffin on stage. Lady Peggy says, my dad wanted to be buried, didn't want his body donated. Well, there you go. Your great-grandfather had a state funeral too. Was that a chicken crossing the road? I don't know, I missed it. Oh, there's a little bird down there. No, it kind of looks like a baby kookaburra. I don't know what it was. I might run out of battery on my phone soon, guys, too. I'll keep going till I run out. I wasn't planning on going live. There's another little house being built. That's really cute too. Just simple. I love that people are into simple houses now. You know, you need them to be small so they can be heated up, because Tassie's a really cold place. You do need to have little rooms you can section off. The sort of open plan concept is you know, a very popular way of houses now, but it's actually impractical when you live in a place where you need to warm up your house. A scrub turkey. We don't have them. Mary, my ex wants a green bag and a hole. I'm glad I went live too, Mary. But yeah, see the water down there? That's the beach down where I live. No, I'm glad I went live too. Sometimes you just get a feeling, you're like, oh, I might go live. Actually, oh my God, guys, you can see my house. Hang on. I've never walked along here before. Zooming in. Okay, so can you see 2 roofs? There's like there's 2 houses next to each other. Mine's the second one, the one at the back, the taller one that's got the deck and the slanted roof. The one in front's a brick house, but the timber one behind it is my house. I'll wait and see if you guys can see it. I'm going to go to the end of this street. Bush turkeys, wild rabbits and ducks, groovy. Yeah, so the second house, the sort of honeypot coloured, the honey coloured house, that with the pitched roof, and you can see a bit of a deck jutting out, and the reason it's so high is because it's on stilts. And then the house in front's a brick house that belongs to my friend Jude. And then down here, guys, there's that beach that we walk along down there, and we walk all the way along to the end. Don't dox myself. I'm not doxing myself. I'm making a cup of tea. One day I will. I was thinking about doing that the other day. Just thought, make a cup of tea and sit out on the deck. And have a little chat. Okay, this little street's part of mine. There's a cool combi van. I dox myself all the time being there. In terms of where I live and street names, and I mean, my channel name used to be my real name. I'm not fussed. Bring it on. I'd like to see what they can do for me. They can do to me. It's not like I can be sacked because I don't work for anyone. And yeah, what can they do? Hey, Space Monster, how are you? Haven't seen you forever. Princess Buttercup's honey pot belongs to Big Daddy-O. Just a minor clarification there. Oh, the sun is amazing. How you doing? Just letterboxing for the voluntary assisted dying bill.
No, good, thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's Princess Buttercup, babes, not me. Tori's got taste. PB's a bit of a slut. Oh, this is a bit steep. Whoa. Now I know where this is called Hilltop. The house I've just walked past. I'll show you when I walk back around. It's a really cool house, and they've got not one but 2 combis. I'm puffed. See you being there. Take care, gorgeous. Thanks for dropping in. This is a fancy letterbox. Look at it. I love the rusty metal look. I also like the weathered timber look. Equally groovy. So yeah, down there, guys. There's my beach. Oh shit. I've just got a thing saying it's missing the valid API key again, and basically from now on I'm not going to see chat. You guys will, and you'll be able to keep chatting, but I can't see. The last comment I can see is being there, so I might as well keep chatting as I walk, because this has happened a few times. It's nothing to do with me or my phone. It's a Streamlabs issue, and it just can't talk. They can't communicate, Streamlabs and YouTube. So welcome to anyone who joins, bye to anyone who leaves. I'm going to keep going and do the last bit of this area. But yeah, from when this has happened before, you guys have said you could still hear me, so I'll just keep crapping on. But yeah, check out this house. I mean, it's a builder, so it's not surprising he's got a cool house. But look at it. Like, the house is right down the back, and not one but 2 combi vans. Oh, so cool. Being there was cute, worrying about me doxing myself, like, honestly. I've walked up my street and people have seen the street name. I've shown people the front of my house, which has a number on it. Like, yeah. I just don't. What can they do? What can they do? This is a very Aussie thing. I'm sure it would happen in America too, when you've got like a long little laneway or road. They often put all the letterboxes together at the end, which makes life very easy when you're letterboxing. Okay. I've only got a smallish bundle left to do now. I've still got another area that I'll take you guys to another day in the maybe next week. I've got so much study to do and work and things, but I'm so sorry I can't see what you guys are chatting about now. I hope you're all having fun. Didn't really touch on our topic, but that's fine. I mean, it's so weird. I've had voluntary assisted dying bill in the subject of every live I've done, and we've talked about pretty much everything but it. And then today I put when YouTube enters your life, and we've pretty much talked about the voluntary assisted dying bill. So I'm going to change the subject when I get home to the heading. It's been good to chat about it and listen to some of your stories and shared experiences, and show you my house. And I wish I could see chat. But there's my house again for one last time. Stop while the car's coming up the street. Yeah, so there's my house in the background. The honey pot coloured house. So that gives you a bit of an idea too of my view. I look out over the beach down there and across the valley. It's pretty cool. I love where I live. Can you tell? Do I talk about it enough? Do I tell you enough how much I love it? Look at this wicked house. I actually looked at buying this block of land when I built my place. True story. That's super cool. One thing that put me off though, there's power lines above, and I didn't want them in my view. So my place is over the road without any power lines. But yeah, I looked at that block and this block too. There were two blocks side by side. Another rusty metal one. Love it. Okay, so if we wanted to go to my place, just up there is a little track that takes you right in front of my house. Anyone who's been out on my deck with me would know there's like a track that runs along the front that all the surfers walk along. It's a nice thing to wake up to every morning. Hello, boys. God, I've got new yoga pants on and they're way warmer than the ones I've usually been going for walks in. These are almost thermal. I don't know if they're going to work for me at Bikram Yoga. I'm so bummed I can't see chat now. I'm so bummed Streamlabs is wonky. I kept going back and Googling what an API key is, and I can't find how to fix it, and it annoys me because I'm really good at fixing technology. I'm not bragging, it genuinely is something I'm good at. I don't know why. There's the beach again, guys. I just love it. I love all things technology, and I love troubleshooting and problem solving and working out how to fix things. It makes me feel competent and independent. And there really isn't anything you can't look up on YouTube now on how to do something, how to fix something. And if you can follow a few steps in a video, that's all you got to do. So yeah, but for some reason this API thing and settings on my computer, my laptop, because this is broadcasting across onto YouTube on my laptop at home, and I've tweaked settings and all sorts of stuff, and this friggin' API key thing still keeps happening. So I don't know. I'll try it again today. I'll see if I can find another YouTube video and see if that one works, because this, whatever I did last time, hasn't fixed it. God, I can't believe how warm it is. There's a girl. I'm just walking past now and she's in a t-shirt. And I've got 3 layers of merino on. It's crazy. She's got a cat like Biscuit. Cute. God, Mummy Ramblings is live following the Johnny Depp trial. It's pretty interesting, actually. That's something I probably would have followed. I must admit I'm not following much except seeing headlines in our national news every day about it, but in hindsight that would have been quite a good one to cover. I mean, I quote Johnny Depp all the time, so I could have had a bit of fun with it. I quote characters of his out of movies, not him personally. Gilbert Grape's probably one of my favourite books of all time, and movies. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Edward Scissorhands, another perler. Captain Sparrow, legendary. And yeah, I was a bit of a 21 Jump Street fan. I've never really found him super hot. Like, I don't think he's ugly. He's a bit too wiry for me. I like chunky boys. But in terms of his acting, he's amazing. He's a very good actor. You know how there's some actors that are sort of actors because they're pretty? Like, Brad Pitt gets a lot of really good roles because he's a good looking rooster. But there's really only 2 kinds of characters that he plays. And my favourite Brad Pitt character is in True Romance, where he has a cameo and he's just this stoner. But it's one of my favourite characters that he plays. But Depp is a, you know, I mean, as a human being, I think he's a bit messy, but he's a very talented actor. There's that puppy that wants to come home with me. Oh shit, no, there's another one. There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. There's 2 letterboxes too. There's 2 old girls. Dogs, I mean. The one that wanted to come home with me before. It's cloned itself. There's now 2 of them. I don't think they're ever going to realise that they live in a very cool house. I look at Biscuit sometimes and I'm like, you've got no idea. You live in a great house. You lucky cat. And my place isn't big and flashy. It's just cool. It's a cool pad. I hate not being able to see chat. It's like I'm just walking along. I could quote another YouTube creator and take the piss out of her. I'm just walking along, reading you my amazing monologue. Which has probably turned into a soliloquy, let's be honest. I can't even tell who's with me still. The whole thing freezes for me. We just went past a house that has the outboard motor as the letterbox. Well, this was a good little workout for the day. My ankle's still caning though. Tendonitis. What a lovely, lovely thing. I'm just glad you don't get it really till you're in your late 40s, early 50s, if you get it at all. it'd be a bitch to live with it from like the age of 3. So I'm nearly back at my car. So I'll end this. I'll read any chat that has happened since I froze at this end, and I'll remember to stop going live when I get home, because the other day I forgot and it went for like 4 hours. It was just 4 hours of my phone buffering. riveting viewing. Absolutely gutted that no one sat through 4 hours of my screen buffering to, you know, bump up my viewing hours. What's wrong with you people? We'll chat about YouTube another time, but yeah, for those of you who are still listening, have a look at what John Crimes has put on his community page, on his John Hinge channel. I just wanted to give him a shout out because I've watched things unravelling on YouTube for, well, it'll be 2 years soon, and I've always had that little niggling question in the back of my mind: how long is this going to go on for? When are people going to actually realise that this is hurting them, you know? And I mean, to be fair to John, he hasn't been one of the main drama kind of, I don't call it drama, he hasn't been a bitch channel. He's just gone live and said stuff defending himself, which, you know, I'm never going to begrudge anyone doing that. But I just think it's a really lovely message, and especially the end of it, where he says something along the lines, to all the people that aren't trying to hurt someone or upset someone, I love you. And I love you grievers too. Stay groovy. Thanks for coming with me.